Yeah.
I actually, again, we have so many different subjects that we want to talk. If somebody never met you and they want to describe what was little baby Jim Browning look like at his teenage years?
Yeah.
Was it always computers?
I
was
hit
that
the set, yeah, it was
computers? What?
No, I mean, there are certain sports I'm into, and one of them is something you've probably never heard of in the US, which is squash.
Squash.
You know, squash. Okay, it's a little bit like racquetball, but longer racket, smaller. Yeah. Okay. So, and that's a sport I would still be into, but I was never particularly sporty. I was particularly bad at football or soccer, as you guys would say. Always the last one to be picked for soccer. You know. I mean, it wasn't that it was like kind of unfit or anything. It's just that I just did 2 left feet. You know? So
I can relate.
Yeah, but you know, that was it. So there's certain sports that I like, but others I don't. And by the way, I went to a baseball game there recently. Still can't quite fathom out the rules, but I'm nearly there.
Yeah.
But at least I did my kind of US
fully
thing.
immersing in the American. Did you get a hot dog and do the whole thing?
I did.
Good.
Yeah.
You went the proper way.
I did.
Which baseball game?
It was the San Francisco Giants against the Rockies.
Beautiful stadium.
Yeah, it was brilliant. And
Cove.
I had to. I mean, I'm not a baseball supporter by any means, but you always cheer for the underdogs. I was cheering for the Rockies, and they did win. They won 4-3.
How many times did you fall asleep?
No, I didn't. Not once. Not once. No.
No, because
All roast by Art over there.
no, listen, I'm like what 15, 16 years in America, and then coming from sports.
Yeah.
Like I love sports. And then I see baseball, and I'm trying to understand why it's called sports.
I know.
And, listen,
right.
I know I'm going to get backlash, but when I went to Dodgers game first time, and I saw the atmosphere and stuff,
You see how fast that baseball is, and it's like you appreciate it more.
on TV, I think it's like it's such a low pace, and it's kind of like, all right, I can go right now and fuck off for 1 hour, and I will come back, nothing happened.
I'm going to alienate a lot of people saying this, but if you want to be bored out of your mind, go to a cricket game. No, honestly, if you really do want to sleep, I know there's probably a load of people watching going, cricket, but that's sacrilege. How dare you? Oh God, it's dull. It's so dull. You know?
Especially our audience from India. So don't hate
I know.
We all have opinions. It's our opinions.
There's another scam beater called Sven, and like, if he ever comes to London, the first thing he wants to do is go to Lord's to watch a cricket game. I was thinking, he actually said, would you come with me? And I'm going, absolutely not. No.
So he don't want to go see Chelsea. He don't want to go see Manchester City. He don't want to see like any football. And, he was like, let's go.
Sven, if you're watching, sorry, but I'm still not going. Can't do it.
At what age the technologies and progression start dominating that you like kind of like, how did you get in this?
And what did you want to do from like a young age?
I mean, when you're a kid, you want to do all fantastic. You want to be an astronaut and things like that. But of course,
that's me. I want to go.
Katy Perry did it.
Go to Katy Perry.
I want to go to the space.
Your lady Katy Perry, she's already doing it. You can do it.
my lady Katy Perry.
Yeah, but that's when you're really young, and then you kind of realize when you get a bit older.
You're like, I'm not going.
You kind of realize what's doable. And the one thing for me that's doable was I was kind of a nerdy kid and into computers and stuff. So I drifted into a uni course that was to do with engineering. And so I am a fully qualified electronics engineer.
Wow.
Okay. I have my degree in electronics. Don't ever use any of that degree, but I did get into like an IT profession because of it. So that's where I ended up. And I kind of drifted in that way. So I was never particularly good at things like maths, but I did enough to get me by. And eventually that got me into it.
At what point you quit your job and scam baiting and YouTube channel dominated so much that you like call your boss and what do you say, boss? Fuck off. I'm my own boss right now.
Well, that only happened like 2.5 years ago. So up until, 2022, I had a proper day job. So the Scambit stuff, the YouTube stuff, all of that was entirely on my own time.
Yeah.
Okay, so obviously you guys do this full time. I, until very recently, did not. That was very much a secondary. For me, it was always a hobby. And to be honest, in a lot of ways, it probably still is.
Yeah.
So, you guys take it seriously. You have production, you have a podcast, you have production, you pay people's wages.
Right.
Well, thanks to our supporters that have put us in this position. Yeah, we wouldn't.
100%.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess if I was taking it really seriously, I might have done what you guys did. I know we'd chatted about that before, but for me, it still is a hobby, okay? But it's a hobby that allows me to do things like go to these conventions, go to nice places to talk to people with who are, hate scams and are anti-fraud and that sort of thing. And for me, that's just what I want out of it. I don't really take it overly seriously, but I think I do enough. And there's obviously people who support me as well. So I definitely have to keep the content coming. But at the same time, it's not the be all and end all for me. It is still, for me, a bit of a hobby, but people support me in doing it. And that's, to be honest, that is the best of all worlds for me.
I want to give you extra shout out, because every single national network, radio station, podcast, everybody wants you. Very desirable man, my friend.
Well, I mean, some people have said that, but
They'd be right.
Not very many.
So everybody wants piece of Jim Browning,
Yeah.
And we opened our studio late January, right? So we recorded, you and me, almost the end of January, right? Today's May 4th.
May the 4th
Be with you. That's right.
Yeah.
And I know how busy you are. I know how wanted by community, by everybody you are. And you still being like 10 hours away in totally different city, doing totally different unrelated things. And I called you and I said, Jim, I know you're busy. Big brother, if you have a chance, take a little bit detour from one city to another city. I know with your family. Can you please join podcast? And you did like this.
It's a community, though. That's the thing. I communicate with you guys and with probably all of the other, certainly the big scam baiting channels. And there's a lot more of them now, of course, than there used to be.
Well, everybody looks up to you.
Yes.
Set a precedent.
Well,
That's
I mean,
very
maybe
admirable.
looks up to. It's nice to be in that position, but I'm not. I hope I'm not pushy about anything. But things like People's Call Center, which we have been to before. I am trying to organize another one. I think I can say that. I'm not going into details about where that is, but it will happen. And I just know from the people who have responded to it, I put out an invite to that amongst all of probably the kind of best known scam baiters on YouTube. And I was thinking that probably I might get half of the invites that I sent out coming back. All but 2, as in 2 out of maybe 30 odd people couldn't make it. So for me, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
But it means there's a community there as well. We all have a common goal.
Yep. Yes.
We all hate scams. We all hate the people who run those scams. We all like to expose them. And for me, it's just fantastic that we can do this as a community, because even at the conventions where I was talking, there's things people like bank and financial institutions, and there's only so much that they can do to educate people about scams. And they will give you a little bullet point list. And I see on my banking app from time to time, it'll say, don't read out one-time codes, all this sort of stuff. Things that people know. Okay, but scams always happen to other people. That's the norm. That's the normal mindset. And you can't blame anybody for that. But if you can see it on YouTube, if you can recognize little hallmarks of a scam, you're a bit less likely to fall for it. And that's the important bit. So honestly, it doesn't matter. I will reach out to anyone and everyone who's prepared to talk about scams or to show them, which is why it's important to meet up with you guys. And if you can get it across in an entertaining way, brilliant, because you're just more likely to remember it.
Yeah.
And that's why I know that you talk about people that some people like what you do, some people don't like what you do.
Of course.
That's fine. Everybody's got their own place.
Right.
And the thing is, even if it's something that you don't like, you're more likely to remember that. So, everybody has their own role to play in this. And that's why it's a fantastic community.
Absolutely.
And actually, not going deep, but our community, scam baiting community, being a little bit shaky, suffering a little bit.
Yeah.
Thank you for getting everybody back on track, organizing this event. Regardless of what happened, not going in details, you bringing everybody together.
Yeah.
And that's how community should be about. We don't have gigantic community that everybody can do this. It's a very niche. And when something happens, affects everybody. And you like being the real fucking man, the real godfather, said, guys, come on, let's get together. I will make it happen.
There's more important things than little squabbles about bits and pieces. Who cares? Like, it doesn't matter. The really important bit is if you can get a message out about scams.
Yeah.
And honestly, I
don't forget the purpose of why you're doing this.
Of course, yeah. And you shouldn't, in theory, let personalities get in the way of that. And sometimes they do, but that's just life. But there are more important, bigger goals. So that's why.
Well, that's why you got 100%.
That's why you're
that's
a true leader
Jim
right there.
Fucking Browning.
Man.